water, earth, fire, fear. Long ago, gamers lived together in harmony. Then everything changed when video games became microtransaction-ridden sweaty overstimulation piss fests with toxic turbo-virgin players. Only Blizzard devs, creators of the best MMORPG in 2004 as well as many sexual harassment lawsuits, could bring joy back to gamers, and when the world needed them the most, they released another retail expansion. Close to 100 years passed and the WoW community discovered a new hardcore game mode where death equals delete and one mistake means months of your life wasted. Official servers were created and named after the most dangerous creatures in their universe. Defias Pillager, the proverbial firebenders of Westfall, Skull Rock, a cave that Alliance players use in arguments to prove that Horde players are the reason shampoo has to come with instructions. Nekrosh, a washed-up wetlands commander surrounded by an army of his simps. And Stitches, the most deadly patrol south of the Azeroth equator. A weaponized diabetic jizz stain with a 0 to 60 on par with a modern-day Tesla whose favorite game is Surprise You're a Dead Bitch. Together these creatures have made hardcore WoW a giant waste of time for countless kids. But only Rav, master of all 4 deadly things that dumb players die to, can stop them. Now the first element was a cakewalk to master. Defias pillagers get their reputation from being arsonistic asshats, and the average experience can be best summarized by a South Park clip that I quote at least once a week.
No! I don't want him to start over at the graveyard! No!
But unfortunately for Miss Sizzle Tits here, I've already killed her boss's boss when I was still a wee little lad, so her attempts were nothing more than laughable. Back to Elwyn for you, bitch. Mastering Skull Rock was equally as uneventful as a YouTuber boxing match, as I was basically the LeBron James of dwarfs entering a Catholic grade school dribbling contest, to the point where none of these orcs from Mordor or their blue bitches even wanted to make eye contact with me on my way in. The main threat in here is a man whose name could be some Urban Dictionary slang for a blow job, and while yes, he's a big threat, the thing responsible for more deaths is actually the genie that he's let out of the bottle. I figured it'd be appropriate to let the pets play with each other. And then when he tried to pick a fight with a pig, I got pissed, thinking you wouldn't have the balls to attack a grown man like that, and he was going to pay the price. Obviously the age gap made mastering this element a bit easy. Nekrosh, the first EU realm, is appropriately where shit got messy. My initial scouting report showed that Commander Cucksuck here definitely won the popularity contest in terms of how many butt buddies he had surrounding him. I pulled up a conversation as context into the deadliness of this man, where some pussy wanted to group up to take him down. I asked how many he said he wanted to go with 4 little fear-mongering fuckboys, and when I asked if he thought I could solo, he promptly said negative Ghost Rider. It was only poetic that I then ran into their little raid group on my way to glory.
Pussy!
I figured I would clear the backside and then spectate their attempt to see what I was dealing with when I accidentally did this. Clearly this touched a nerve not only with Nekrosh's book club but also with the pussy boys who did days of prep for this mission. They ended up securing a sloppy slaughter between the 16 of them, and it was at this point, almost 4 weeks into my World of Warcraft journey, that I ran into my first League of Legends player. Anyways, it was once again my turn to master the third hardcore element, all while I was being called a huntard, and I will always be confused why people say hunters are an easy class. I nabbed me the cabeza for my credit, and then because I'm petty I shared my triumph with the lead player. And then there was Stitches, the hardest of the hardcore elements to master.
There's no one that solos Stitches. That guy's impossible to solo.
This weaponized Godzilla sperm cell has a body count that can only be rivaled by Logan Paul's fiancée. No sane human attempts to kill this, as the local town lives in constant fear of him getting the munchies, and most conversations with this jailbroken ball of jizz typically result in a target dummy angle where you just hope to have gotten enough distance by the time he starts chasing you again. After how easy mastering the first 3 hardcore bosses were, I went into this with confidence. But seeing as my first 10 shots barely tickled this angry ball of puss, and with Howard already having taken a bloody beating, I was forced to run away and reconsider if I had what it takes to be the hardcore avatar. I went full-blown pimp my ride Howard edition. My uncle started infusing my items with pheromones and all sorts of little bitch buffs, all for my rematch. A local pastor gave Howard the stamina he would need to be in the ring with that monster, and then there was just one last thing I needed. Given to me by Papa Soto himself, who at this time was learning that I was about to fulfill my destiny as the hardcore avatar.
Fucking Rav is gonna try and solo Stitches like an idiot for his YouTube channel.
And when he realized there was no talking me out of my decision, he took the next bald eagle straight to the local town to watch. But he knew he was not allowed to help he who's destined to do this alone.
I will let him die. Oh, feign death. Get him back on Howard. Howard's health is looking good.
I managed to keep Howard in good health, but we had bigger problems.
Oh, he's fucking
which meant it was doomed, and I couldn't face the reality that was in front of me.
Howard is gonna go down.
And even though I hated him for it,
let Howard die. Howard served well, but you gotta play this yourself.
He was right. I was now alone and the target of this big fat baby Gravy's wrath, with no one but myself to fulfill my destiny.
He's got a new pet. It's Watcher Jordan.
Execute phase was among us, and I knew it would be poetic to defeat him in the center of town to show all the shitty city boys that there's nothing to fear when I'm around. But it wasn't over yet.
Oh no. Stitches is coming.
If I couldn't finish him myself at this point, I knew no one else could.
Tamed another pet. You got the Goon Squad.
One last crit and I officially have mastered the hardcore elements all by myself, alone, with no help from outside factors. I claimed this diabetic snots femur to hold as a trophy on my right hip for the rest of my journey as a sign of me being the avatar, but despite my victory, I was empty. All I could think about was the day I made that little hog my slave, and immediately made him kill his own brother. The breakups, the makeups, supporting each other towards their goals.
Okay, this is gonna take a while.
He died a goddamn hero for the noble cause of Rav mastering the elements. But I feared my journey would be over if it meant Howard would not be by my side. I was about to give up hope and go back to shitty League of Legends and leave all of this behind, as a distant memory, when an angel appeared. Together with Howard, Rav the Avatar was ready to save the world of Warcraft.